best car, SUV, or truck, guess what? You're in luck. Frontier Motors is down the street. Got the best deals that can't be beat. Don't overpay, come in today. Doing business the old-fashioned way. Frontier, we got the right price. Frontier, we'll treat you mighty nice. Frontier Motors, low overhead country.
Yes, indeed. We are pleased to have with us here live in our studio the owner of that fine establishment, or at least one of those owners, ready, willing, and more than able to take any phone calls from you. If you'd like to get the value or the price of a car or a truck or an SUV that you're thinking of buying or selling or trading in, you just give us a call at 478-3116, and you will be connected as if by magic to Mr. Ron Schneider with Frontier Motors. Good morning, sir.
Well, good morning. Good morning. And joining me on the radio today is Todd Gordon. Todd Gordon is our sales manager at Frontier Motors, one of. And Todd has been with us for about 2.5 years, and every once in a while I let him get out of the office and come talk with us. And for you cable viewers, Todd Gordon, you were what were you, a coach of what?
That other sport in the South. I coached hockey I coached the Ice Pilots for 3 years and the Ice Flyers for 3 years here in Pensacola.
And then now you're in the car business and retired out of the hockey business.
And loving life.
And loving life, absolutely. And Todd doing a great job with us over at Frontier Motors. Todd's main job over there at Frontier Motors today and every day is, of course, talk with all you great customers out there, all you folks that come in, but doing a lot of buying cars. And when you sell cars at Frontier Motors, you got to buy cars. And in most dealerships, like a Ford franchise, a Chevy franchise, or anything like that, you have your new car side, and then you have your trade-ins coming in. So sometimes you have a pretty good influx. Well, with a independent used car dealership, we still have trade-ins. We have good quality trade-ins. We took some in over Saturday, but we buy a lot of cars. And I know that people probably say they buy cars. There's some commercials out there. You've seen them. I've seen them. But can you kind of tell the folks out there in TV land and radio land that we actually got a process set up to do that?
Well, I think the biggest thing, Ron, is when anybody has to sell something, there's always some stress involved with it. People don't like a lot of people coming to their house to look at vehicles, or they don't like having to take the time out of their schedule to drive somewhere and show it. And what we do is we take all that stress away. We got a pretty good system, whether you just stop by to buy it, whether you call us to buy it, whether we contact you about buying a car you have for sale. We'll buy them right on the phone. We'll buy them when you come to the lot. And it's a pretty straightforward process. And, to kind of go over that all the sales managers do, there's yourself, Ivan, and me, Keisha, and Monroe up at the store there, is that we have a kind of a checklist. And I'll just show you a quick list here that enables us to give a real accurate figure over the phone. I mean, if you don't want to be bothered, you're at work or something, you just want to call and say, hey, what's my car worth? I'd like to sell it. We all do the same sheet. We walk around. We ask you miles on your car, equipment, VIN number. Have you, with your cell phone, walk around the vehicle, look for scratches and dents and tires. And the more accurate that customer is, the more accurate we can give them a figure. And generally, on a phone call like that, if people are accurate with their description of their vehicle, we can be within a couple $100s of what we'll buy that car for, or it may come to our store and be worth more.
So if you're noticing what Todd's saying, we have it set up so it makes it easy for you, the consumer. Now, there's a lot of car lots in Pensacola. Last count was about 108 or 109, I think Ivan told me. And I guess they'll tell you they buy cars. Or you go to a franchise dealership. You might have bought a new Chevy, a new Ford, and you go to the franchise and you can't find anybody really around to buy cars. We have it set up like that because we buy 25 to 50 cars per week. So when we're coming to the radio show today and we are doing this dual show with the television, Todd and I decided we're going to talk a little bit more about buying cars. Now, how do we buy the cars and where do we get the values? Todd's information comes the same place that my information from, Ivan or Keisha or Monroe's. But what we look at is first of all, the NADA guide. The NADA guide is a big way of verifying that we're telling you the right stuff, telling us the truth, being verifiable. The NADA is used by all your local banks. Right now we have 11 lenders at Frontier Motors. Every single one uses this NADA. Now it guides us because it has a loan value in there, as we're talking about banks, and it has a retail value. And then what we do also, we got the Black Book guides. And the Black Book guides, they come to us every week, and they tell us what's going on in our market area in the southeast United States. So we can now try and outsmart them with the NADA, or we can try and outsmart them with the Black Book, but you put all this combined together, and then they use the price driver. Explain to the folks out there in TV land what that price driver thing will do for us.
Well, it's a great tool, not just for buying cars, but also selling cars. Is we can pull up from 25 miles outside of Frontier Motors in Pensacola to anywhere in the nation, or 1,000 miles out, or 500 miles, and find exactly what cars with exact matches, real similar miles, what they're selling for, what other dealers are asking for them. And what we try to do then from a selling standpoint is make sure we're lower that, and from a buying standpoint, make sure we're maximizing the dollars given to the customer selling us a car.
Makes exact sense, and that's why I said that we're set up at Frontier Motors to buy cars. Now we talk about buying cars. Of course, we sell cars. Frontier Motors has been in business for 18 years. Todd's been with us 2.5, and a great add to our help there. You know, you grow a little bit, you need another salesman. You grow a little bit, you got to have another sales manager, and it's worked out real well. Where most of the time we can cover the traffic that we have. On Saturdays, it gets quite interesting around there. Every once in a while, it gets pretty exciting. But we keep adding our sales managers. We keep adding salespeople to help you, the consumer. But what we keep adding more of is inventory. As of this morning, we have 361 cars in stock. That's a record. We're going higher and higher and higher. But it makes it easier for the consumer. It makes it easy for Todd and I. It makes it easy for all the sales managers and the consumer. So when you, the consumer, come to Frontier Motors, you can look at an inventory that's vast. It's almost like a used car show. I'm going to give you a quick rundown. I don't know how quick I can say all this, but I'm going to go ahead and do it. With the 360 cars, we have 2 Acuras, 1 Audi, 4 BMW, 6 Buicks, 6 Cadillacs, 41 used Chevrolets. Chevrolet market good here in town with the competing 2 dealerships. 8 Chrysler, 16 Dodge, and 1 Ram truck, because now I call it a Ram. 45 Fords. And very competitive in the Ford business. Of course, you were going new, you go to World Ford. If you go to used, we hope you give us a shot at that. There's only 1 Ford dealer in town, so we do a good business in the Fords, especially the Ford trucks. 15 GMCs, 21 Hondas. Great car. Of course, everybody knows that. 25 Hyundais. We've done good with Hyundais, haven't we?
They make such a great car right now.
Yeah, they make a great car. Aren't you buying one now?
I am buying one.
Yeah,
right
buying
now
one for your daughter or something, yeah. 3 Infinitis, 10 Jeeps, 13 Kias, 15 used Lexus. We sold 2 Lexus on Saturday. 5 Lincolns, 10 Mazdas, 3 Mercedes, 2 Mercurys, 1 Mini, 3 Mitsubishis, 24 Nissans. Sandy Sensing, new Nissan, used Nissan. We hope you come to Frontier Motors. 2 Pontiacs, 7 Subarus, 44 Toyotas. 44 Toyotas. We do a tremendous business in the Toyota everywhere around. The Camry we sell a lot of. The pickups, the Tacomas and the Tundras, and 9 VWs. Plus about 4 motorcycles. If you're in the hunt for a motorcycle and you want a real deal, all the guys in the back, Jens and Kurt, they hate moving them in and out.
And one RV.
And 1 RV. Yeah, we have an RV. So if you really want to get wild, quit your job, get your RV, get your motorcycle behind your RV. We got that too. We got an RV that's actually a steal. It's got a $37,000 average retail. We can sell it for about $9,000 under that at Frontier Motors. One of the cleanest 2004 motorhomes I've seen, with 1 slide, 34-footer or something like that. But that's the inventory that we carry. The radio show here is a call-in radio show, 478-3116. Todd said earlier in the show that we can help you out with a value on your vehicle, even if we're not looking at it. Now, before we write the check, we want to look at it. Before we write you that check and exchange the title for you, we want to write you that check. But if you want to give us a shout on the radio, we'll show you how to do that, 478-3116. Or for those out there watching in TV land, all you got to do is give us a call at the bottom of the screen, 436-8080. That's always running across the screen. The other alternative to buying a car, if we can't get together, because, Todd, we're buying a car more in the wholesale end, not the retail end. What's the other alternative we have?
Oh, we got a great consignment program. Actually, I'd never really heard of it before until I started working at Frontier Motors, where people bring in a car that's in great shape, everything. They just don't need the car anymore. They may have 3 other cars. They don't drive it. It's not a regular driver, or for whatever reason, we come and appraise your car, give you a retail value, do our price driver to see what they're selling for, and then we come up with a figure agreed upon both of us that customer would make when we sell their car for them.
Makes it a lot easier. Easy 2-page form. When you're coming in to buy a car, and Todd and I and all of our sales reps, including Ivan, have seen many times where we'll give them a figure. Let's just say we gave them a $12,500 figure, and they said, "Boy, I wish I could have got about $14,000 out of that." I said, "Well, here we have an alternative plan. We got a 2-page agreement between you, us, and the state of Florida, basically, that you're putting your car on consignment, leaving it with Frontier Motors, and you're going to net a certain amount of money." Now, the reason we did that, there's a couple places in town do some percentages, do some funky stuff. I'm not sure what they use, but what we use is we use a net amount of money. So if we're appraising it at 12.5 and you're trying to get $14,000 out of it, what we might do is go the 1,000, 1,500 extra, put the car on consignment, and that way we will pay you that net amount of $14,000 once we sell it. I think we just completed a sale this morning. You had a customer that came in, and how easily did that go? It was on a Ford Explorer.
Yeah, 2012 Ford Explorer, and didn't need the car anymore. Great car, low miles, everything, and he just wanted us to sell it for him. And the beauty of that is that he gets treated just like it's one of our own vehicles. There's 30 pictures on the internet. It goes in all of our advertising, and like I said, we don't charge you for that. We come up with a number, and the car stays on our lot, and we help you sell it.
It's a dealership magazine, and every once in a while everybody grabs it when you got an extra second or two. But it says here that GM, of course, has always been gunning for more pickup wins. And what's happened is with General Motors and GM, the GMC and the Chevrolet are getting so strong right now. I wrote an article here. I marked it. Let me see where I marked it at. Right here. Got it right here. It says on August sales of GMC Sahara, shown Chevrolet pickup truck combined, totaled 69,048 sales in trucks, edging out Ford's 68,109 total for F-Series. That is the first time in 2014 that the GM combined has outsold Ford. And Don and Ivan and I and everybody comes to Rizzo, we always have a little contest on what cars sell more, and it's always been the Ford F-150, Don, hadn't it?
Right, for years and years.
Well, they just edged them out by about, what is that, about 900 trucks. And I guess raise the flag. Well, those are the little interesting things that you find out in here. There's another thing in here. I think all you hot rod people, I see Todd always out there hot rodding around when he's getting a GT Mustang or something for sale. But Dodge is building a SRT Hellcat. Challenger. It will have 707 horsepower. That's 7 more horsepower than a Lamborghini Aventador, which is $400,000. 707. So you crazy people out there that like to go crazy fast and maybe don't like Chevrolet Corvette or something like that, it's coming out. It is in 2015. They are going to make a limited number at the Dodge stores. So if you want one of these Hellcats, have a lot of fun. This is a good magazine to help you out and the consumers out. What this does is tells us goes on in the industry. Also tells us in the back here there's a whole section of dealer incentives and rebates. And if we can help you out in understanding some of this stuff every once in a while, like when you're buying a new car, you might want to know what the dealer incentives are. And dealer incentives are the hidden figures behind the invoices. Some of these got the rebates and all the other things like that. But they're in there. It also shows if they got the interest rates and things like that. We can help you out with Frontier Motors. And one of the reasons, as well as Todd knows, why we do the show is to give people information if they're buying a new car or a used car. How many times do you think you help somebody on the telephone every day, and what are the certain things that you help them with?
Well, the big thing is probably, I guess, anywhere from 5 to 8 calls a day, Ron, where people are calling that want to try to sell their car on their own. They want a value on it, and obviously our question is going to be, why are you selling it and so forth. But one of the biggest questions is people think because they owe money on their car that we can't buy it. People that have a payoff, that have a loan on it with one of their lenders that they're thinking, well, I owe $6,000 on my car to a credit union. Well, come in and we evaluate your car. Your car's worth $10,000. What we're going to do if you agree to sell us the car and we agree on numbers is that we do that in the morning. That check goes out for your payoff in the afternoon. As soon as we receive the title from the lender, then we give you a check for the difference of the money. Make it real simple, and you're out of your loan immediately, and it's a good deal for everybody.
I should have brought that up earlier. Thanks for bringing that up. But you're right. We call it our AB plan. If you have a $15,000 car and you owe $8,000 on it, you want to go pay the $8,000 off and bring Todd and I the title, we'll write you a check. Or plan B, which is a little bit easier. Bring it in, just like Todd said. We'll get together on the price. We'll make up some documents. We'll make sure you have a 2-piece document and the copy of that contract in your hand when you leave. and we'll pay the vehicle off. And when the title is received by Frontier Motors, we'll give you the difference. Makes it real easy, real simple. Frontier Motors established 1996. We've been in business 18 years here, coming up in November here pretty quick. It'll be our 19th year of business. Jenny Struckle, Ivan Struckle, myself. Ivan and I went to high school together. We got in the car business just shortly thereafter. And we wanted to establish a place that was a little bit different than everybody else's. I don't know if we're a little bit different than everybody else. I hired a hockey coach.
Yes, you are.
I hired a hockey coach to help me sell cars, so I guess we are a little bit different. But we've added piece by piece of different personnel, and we wanted to take the pressure off of it. We wanted to make it easy and make it fun. Todd and I today are in some casual shorts. We wear good, nice collared little shirts, and we tell our salespeople to be comfortable because we want our customers to be comfortable.
Well, I think that's one of the biggest common denominators with me not being in the business and coming there, is that we haven't really hired car people, so we kind of hire people. People that treat people the way they want to be treated, and makes it a comfortable, easy setting. So many times when people are buying cars from us or we're buying cars from them, at the end of the day, it's, I can't believe how easy this was. But no one likes to go shop for cars. We just try to make that experience as enjoyable and least amount of pressure possible, and give you enough information that you can make an educated decision whether you're buying or selling.
Well, that makes sense, and to keep that pressure off everybody, it has to start from the top. It has to start from us, and then it bleeds down to Todd and Keisha and the sales manager, and bleeds down into the salespeople. And one of the things we kind of did to take the pressure off and try to stop that back and forth, and everybody's been out in these car lots where your salesman keeps disappearing because he's got to keep asking questions of the boss, and then they disappear so long sometimes you don't know what's going on. But most of our stuff is done just like this, with a laptop in front of every salesperson. Not to take the personal one-on-one away from you, the consumer, but to help you all with any information that you need. And a lot of people will come in and say, I really love this Ford Edge you have. It's a beautiful 2010. I like the mileage and everything, but I just don't like that color. What availability of colors really are? And boom, 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 there they are. If you're looking for some cars, we talked about Price Driver. Todd and I did a little bit earlier, and someone challenges you a little bit on your pricing, you can turn to that Price Driver, boom, 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 right in front of you, and you can see what's going on around you, 150 miles, like Todd said earlier, up to infinity, all the way across the United States, and see if we are competing in the prices. And this not only pulls up just other dealers where it's like an ammunition thing, it pulls up anything advertised in Auto Trader, Cars.com. So you can even be against personal people selling cars and doing it that way. A little bit about our hours. What are our hours every day?
Hours are, that's another thing that's kind of atypical from the car business, is that we close at 6 on the weekdays and we close at 4 on Saturdays. Most car dealerships are almost 7 to 11, 7 days a week. But another thing everybody at our store, they have families. It's important to us that people are spending time with their families, and it just makes it a more enjoyable workplace all around.
Yeah, 8:30 to 6 makes it easy for you, the consumer, to get there. I know that some people work till 5 or 4:30 downtown or something like that. Talk a little bit more about, we didn't talk too much about financing. I spoke a little bit about it earlier. We got Brian Merritt in the back. We got Darren Skitt, and these two gentlemen, they do business with the banks, and then they communicate with the banks. They communicate with the banks on what you're buying, what the collateral you're buying, I guess is what I should say, the equipment and everything like that. They go to fight for you for your rate. They go to fight for term, and they try to make it a little bit easier. And we have 11 lenders, and we have some good lenders. Who do we have right now? We got
there's Wells Fargo, Chase, Fidelity, BB&T. We got Penn Air Federal Credit Union is a direct lender with us. Harvesters is a direct lender. And the list goes on, and we have some subprime lenders too. So people maybe had a few hiccups the way this economy's been the last 10 years, that we can just about get anything done. And what people don't realize, and what I didn't realize before either, Ron, was we sell anywhere 220 to 250 cars a month, and probably about 120 to 140 are financed through our lenders. So you, with your excellent credit, going to the bank, us going to the same bank with your information, we have more buying power than you do just on the sheer volume. We can beat that rate using the same bank with us doing it instead of you doing it.
I've seen that happen quite a few times. I've seen it where we've had the customer, and you and I do the sales end of it and the sales part, and we finally get together and with the price, and all of a sudden a topic of payments comes up. Oh, doggone, we didn't think about the payment end of it, but and then we sometimes struggle a little bit. But you're right, having the power of the bank right there, or being able to communicate with the bank and having the power of saying, hey, we just sent you 40 contracts this month. Help us out with this particular customer and give us the extra 12 months. Sometimes that happens. Now, why doesn't that happen in a credit union or something of that nature? Most of your credit unions are, and I belong to two in town. They're great credit unions, Ben Air and Central Credit Union, but you are borrowing your money. In other words, you're all members. We are all members of our credit union. So because we're all members, we have to set a standard. If it's 48 months, 60 months, 72 months, whatever that is, based on the year, based on the miles, or anything like that. These lenders that Todd's talking about, that sometimes they'll bend and help us out to, number one, get the customer a satisfactory payment, a little bit lower payment, because you can add 12 months onto a loan. Let's say you have excellent credit and you went down to your credit union, you got this little pre-approved loan in your pocket and you're happy to go, and then you come over there and you find out your payments are about $20, $30 too high. Well, getting some extra months, turn to one of our banks, get the same rate or a better rate, and boom, there goes your payment. So it's good to have that there, clipping right along, selling cars. It looks easy sometimes, but having all of this put together, having the computers, having our salespeople with the information, having Todd and all the great sales managers that we have there with Monroe and Keisha, and then putting all that together with the banks, like Harvesters Federal Credit Union. We do a lot of business with them. Doug comes in all the time collecting checks and collecting contracts, but it just, again, makes it easier for the consumer. I was watching our salespeople the other day, Todd. It was, I think it was 90 degrees when we opened, and it's getting a little cooler. The fall's coming, but they all do what every morning?
Every morning, a salesman come in, and every salesman's got a section of cars. We unlock the cars so you, the customer, can look in every car. You don't have to be bothered. You can go in the lot, basically unattended, if that is your desire. Or if you have questions, they're more than happy to help you.
But yeah, and it makes it that much easier. It's just that little bit of thing, and it's pretty tough on some of them. And then every twice a week we start them all up.
They're started up twice a week. Make
Right.
sure all the fluids are good. There's no lights on in them. That if they need servicing, that's all done. It's just kind of I don't know if it's such a simple process. You wonder why everybody doesn't do it.
Lazy. We've hired a few experienced salespeople. You talked about how we've hired too. And one of the big concerns was, hey, will you open your cars? Hey, will you do this? Hey, will you do that? Because that's not the norm in Pensacola. And, having a sheet that has all the prices on it, that's not a norm in Pensacola. Opening the cars every morning, like Todd said, that's not a norm everywhere. Having a laptop where your salesperson can answer the questions, so he's not back and forth looking for a guy with a tie to help you out. The norm is different at Frontier Motors. And one of the other things, we got a few minutes left here. We got about 5 or 6 minutes at the end. Is the trade-ins. When I guess you go to a new car dealership and you get all excited. You get on the internet and or another competitor in our business, and then you throw the thing that, I have a trade-in, and you get that look in the sometimes the salesperson's face going, oh my goodness, oh man. We look forward to that. That's all the sales managers like it. Ivan and I like it because now what you're working with is you're working with a possible 2-car deal. If you're buying, let's say this little 2011 Buick Regal right here with 15,000 miles, and you have a nice 2008 Buick Regal that you've taken care of with 86,000 miles, that basically becomes the potential of a 2-car deal for Frontier Motors. So Frontier Motors looks at it completely different when you got, and we've had it where it's been 3 cars because that Buick Regal could turn into another trade, and we could have a 3-car sale. And so when we trade cars, we love to trade cars. We like to have the even if it's a junker. We even have a junker row in the back, don't we?
We do.
What do we call it? The fence?
We call it the fence.
Isn't that one of those terms in the hockey business, the fence?
Yeah. Well, the beauty of it is that we can, basically guarantee you that your car's going to be worth $500.
Yeah.
We have people that work with us that will put the number on those cars, and people will come in and sometimes they're real close on their payment, and they said, well, what were you driving before? I got my car out back, but the transmission's dead in it. Well, if we give you $500 for that car, we'll even tow it in for you.
Right.
You don't even have to worry about that.
Right.
We'll bring it in here. You got a clear title. We give you $500. Now we're at your payment. And sometimes that car that you might be taken to the junkyard or something is worth some money for it.
Well, it's a good to bring up. We got a few minutes left here. If you do have a car and you're thinking about trading or not trading it and calling a junkyard or not, if you've had a failure, most of the time we see people because they want to buy a car, they want something new, they want something bigger. But every once in a while, you have the customer that just took it to the repair shop and found out it had a bad transmission. Trade it to us. We'll give you $500. We have a guy that comes around. He's a junkyard guy, and he hauls it away. He loves it. He'll even come to your house and pick it up, so you don't even have to get it towed in. Either the motor has got to be good or the transmission has got to be good. That's what he says, either one, and he'll give us the $500 for it. So it makes it a little bit easier to $500 on a payment today is probably about $15-16. So if you got an old car out there like that, we don't guarantee you $3,000, $4,000, $5,000. Those are all gimmicks. If you want to go with the gimmicks, then I guess you'll have to go with the gimmicks. But we try to have the fewest amount of gimmicks. That way it makes it a little bit easier to come to work every day. Tell them about our website. How do they find us on the website?
Well, we got,
Frontier Motors.
FrontierMotorsInc.com, which has all of our cars on there, all of our sales staff, any information you need. But we also, the social media nowadays is people can like us on Facebook, and they can subscribe to YouTube, Frontier Motors YouTube, and you can get all the highlights, all the new cars we get. Any other thing that's coming on in the news is within Frontier Motors. We'll be on those sites.
These good shows are on there all the time. If you guys you get a little bored and you want to watch us on good shows, but also the cars, you'll notice that when you go to our website, if you click on one of you get a little bit of a film, or you get like a little movie. That all is part because of YouTube helping us out. And, of course, our Facebook. Don, our Facebook, you remember we did the challenge?
The ice water challenge, I do recall it.
Yeah, this is one of the culprits here that poured
see.
very slow.
Just to make you suffer.
Yeah, with Mr. Watley, and then they did the fist bump and did it very, very slow.
Mm-hmm.
But our normal Facebook has been about 500 hits. We've had over 1,500 hits, which is amazing. And we want to thank everybody out there. And I don't want to thank Todd for pouring water on my head very, very slowly.
There's a story behind there, but we'll leave it out.
But we did call a challenge out to the Subaru dealer and Eddie Mercer. I don't know if they did that or not, but our hits did good. So look at our Facebook, and like Todd said, follow us on YouTube, and just follow us. Frontier Motors is kind of a following, After almost 18, 19 years in the business here, coming up on the 19th year of business, people are talking good about Frontier Motors. There's a reason. We try to take care of every customer we can. We know there's one in a million, but we try to take care of everybody we can. We got a minute left on the show. I want to thank Todd Gordon taking some time away from his day at Frontier Motors, and we want to invite you down to Frontier Motors. If you know him from the hockey, come and say hi to him. If you know some of the other folks, come down and see us at Frontier Motors. We're at FrontierMotorsInc.com, FrontierMotorsInc.com. Get us on the Facebook, get us on the YouTube, and come see us at 230 Beverly Parkway. That's 230 Beverly Parkway, or give us a call the old-fashioned way, 850-436-8080. We'd be glad to help you out with any of this stuff we've been talking about. Value's free, Carfax is free, anything you need free. Give you some advice. Call Todd, call Ron, or call anybody there at Frontier Motors. Todd, thanks a bunch, and thanks for listening. Remember, everybody drives a used car.
You're in luck. Frontier Motors is down the street. Got the best deals that can't be beat. Don't overpay, come in today. Doing business the old-fashioned way. Frontier, we got the right price. Frontier, we'll treat you mighty nice. Frontier Motors, low overhead country.